Hello, good afternoon. This is the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra, on Love 99.5 in Kumasi, and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Bishara Radio, Tamale, Sky FM Sunyani, Radio Freed in Nandom, also live on X Spaces, Facebook Livestream, and My Joy online interactive app. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience. Also brought to you by Duraplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes and water tank, the only water storage tank with a level indicator. Where Duraplus goes, water flows. This afternoon, exclusive statements reveal closure of the 4 radio stations in Boko was due to a unanimous decision between the Upper East Coordinating Council and the National Security.
Some of the actions of these 4 radio stations had actually led to some loss of lives and some properties. So based on that, National Security informed the NCA. The NCA invoked its powers.
We have details of a statement back in the closure, and we'll also hear from the NCA. Meanwhile, owners of the radio stations have petitioned the National Media Commission to look into the matter.
You must write officially to the affected radio stations and give them 30 days notification that you will be suspending their frequencies. They haven't done that. They haven't engaged. So we are relying on the National Media Commission to, do something about this because it's very illegal.
Also in this bulletin, economist Kwame Pianim describes unfortunate the president's appointment of the former finance minister as senior advisor and special envoy for international trade, insisting the move has eroded all the goodwill that came with a recent reshuffle.
It's the same guy who gets us kicked out of the Eurobond market. How can he be an envoy? We don't have an economy now. What is he going to be advising more?
He's also demanding more clarity on the NDC's presidential candidate's proposed 24-hour economy.
People are talking about, 24-hour economy. I don't understand. What is it? We don't even have electricity for 1 shift. Where are we going to get electricity for 3 shifts?
Also in this bulletin, 1 billion cedis to collect from defaulters from now till the 15th of March. The Northern Electricity Distribution Company embarks on a massive revenue mobilization drive.
Every customer who is in arrears has in one way or the other been informed of his or her indebtedness, and we have to ensure that whatever is due us, we are taking.
We also have sports.
Well, the local organizing committee for the 13th African Games has budgeted to spend a staggering $48 million, the equivalent of 602 million Ghana cedis, on operational expenses, 6 times Parliament's approved figure of 100 million Ghana cedis.
And later in the bulletin, the creative fraternity has been plunged into mourning following the demise of Peter Morgan, the lead singer for Grammy Award-winning reggae group Morgan Heritage.
Do you see anything to smile about? Look on Pienland.
Details of these and more coming up with me, Maame Nyamekye Thompson. Please stay. In our first story, exclusive details available to join you suggest the closure of 4 radio stations at Boko in the Upper East region was at the instance of National Security and the Regional Coordinating Council. Emerging details shed light on the collaborative effort among these key security bodies to address the escalating tensions in Boko. The move was made in response to concerns over the supposed dissemination of inflammatory content through Boko FM, Source FM, Zara FM and Guma FM, which were believed to be exacerbating the volatile situation in the area. While Joy News has these statements, my colleague Maxwell Agbagba joins me with details. Maxwell, let's start with the Regional Coordinating Council statement.
Yes, so this letter was written on the 23rd January 2024 and it's signed by the Regional Minister, Stephen Yakubu, and it's addressed to the Minister of National Security, and it sets recommendation for closure of radio stations in Boko. Now, at an emergency REDSEC meeting held on Monday, 22nd January 2024, to review the security situation in the region as it relates to escalating tensions in the Boko municipality, it came to the fore that actions of the 4 radio stations in the municipality accounted for some of the upheavals resulting in the wanton killings of innocent lives in the conflict. Right. Now, having examined and thoroughly discuss the issue. The meeting, which was attended by the Regional Director of the National Communication Authority, recommended the closure of these stations. These stations are the Boku FM, Source FM, Zara FM, and Guma FM. Now, it continues to say that to be recalled that many lives have been lost within the past 5 days as a result of insightful comments made by panelists of both sides of the conflict. Following our experience with the Rwanda's example, which led to a genocide, it is high time to act now by closing these stations. And it concludes by saying that we count on your cooperation to help the Red Sep nip in the bud this emerging security threat.
Well, there's a follow-up letter from the National Security as well. What does it say?
So this one is dated 21st February, and it's from the National Security Coordinator, Edward Asumenin, and then addressed to the Director General of the National Communications Authority, and it says recommendations for closure. So it says reference the attached letter from the Office of the Upper East Regional Coordinating Council. It gives the number and then the date of the previous letter.
Right.
And it says an assessment by this ministry revealed that the propagation of inflammatory comments by some panelists and presenters on Boku FM, Source FM, Zara FM, and Guma FM have largely contributed to the recent escalation of the Boku conflict, leading to the loss of lives and properties. Consequently, your outfit is, as a matter of urgency, requested to close down the aforementioned radio stations to avert the breach of peace in the area. You may contact the ministry for any assistance in that regard. So this is the letter the National Security Coordinator, Edward Asumeni, wrote to the Director General of the National Communications Authority on 21st February 2024. Mamise.
Thank you very much. Maxwell Agbagba is with our security desk. Now we can hear from the National Communications Authority's Director of Consumer and Corporate Affairs, Nana Difie Bedu, explaining the actions.
The National Security had done some investigations, and I believe we are all aware of what's going on in Boku. And based on the monitoring and then the investigations that the National Security had done, they had come to the realization that some of the actions of these 4 radio stations had actually led to some situations, some negative situations, if I may call it that way, resulting in some loss of life and some properties. So based on that, National Security informed the NCA. The NCA invoked its powers. And then I think it's also important for us to note that the NCA does not monitor content.
Okay.
And so we work with the National Security based on their
intelligence
actions or their intelligence to maintain peace within that area.
Did you inform them before shutting down the radio station?
Experience has given us some form of what we would call some standard operating procedures. And in most areas where we are likely to face some negative actions from the people, it is very important that to maintain peace within for the shutdown period, we do not give prior notice. I believe that you will understand with me that sometimes if you give these prior notice, we would go there and that probably results in some clash or some negative behaviors there. But that is our standard operating procedure for shutting down a station.
So you heard there Nana Difie Bedu. She's the Director of Consumer and Corporate Affairs at the National Communications Authority. Well, joining us in this conversation is Senior Programs Officer for Freedom of Expression at the Media Foundation for West Africa, Mohib Said. Mr. Said, we're grateful for your time on the Midday News. Well, how do you perceive this move by the NCA as seen in the closure of the 4 radio stations in Boku?
Thank you very much for having me. The Media Foundation for West Africa has also been monitoring the situation in Boku regarding radio programming, and we've been working with the National Media Commission to address some of the issues. In fact, in September 2022, we participated in a virtual forum organized by the National Media Commission, and which was also attended by other media stakeholders such as the GIBA, the Ghana Journalists Association. And at the end of that meeting, the NMC on October 2, 2022 issued a press release warning the owners of the stations involved to, and I quote, adopt stronger gatekeeping measures to ensure that persons with interest in the conflict do not hijack radio stations to foment trouble. Now, given this background, we've been aware that the National Media Commission has been working to address the issue of inflammatory language and rabble-rousing pronouncements that the NCA is citing as the reason for its decision. So the closures do not come to us as a surprise. We are, however, taken aback by the fact that it was the National Communications Authority that announced the decision to shut down. And if you listen to the lady from the authority, she confirmed that the NCA does not do content monitoring. That indeed is the domain of the National Media Commission.
So, Mr. Mohib, the owners of the radio stations have indeed petitioned the National Media Commission to look into this matter. But really, you think that is an effective way? Do you think this move is an effective way to ensure that it quells the unrest ongoing in Boko?
Well, I think it's a decision in the right direction because the posture of the radio stations involved was not helping the peace-building efforts in Boko. And therefore, we endorse the closure. Our issue is with the fact that the National Communications Authority, acting in concert with National Security, are the two organizations that decided to carry out this exercise. And our concern stems from the fact that these bodies are government institutions with heads that are appointed by the president with political interest. And so if we allow them to get into the arena of enforcing professional standards and ethics, we are not always going to get it right.
We're grateful, Mohib Said, who is Senior Programs Officer for the Media Foundation for West Africa. Now, moving on, we've also been speaking to one of the owners of the radio stations, that is Guma Nuru, who is MD for Guma FM, and they have petitioned the National Media Commission on the matter.
But the same Electronic Communication Act further says in 13.2 that before you carry on with the suspension, you must what? You must write officially to the affected radio stations and give them 30 days notification that you will be suspending their frequencies. They haven't done that. They haven't engaged. So what we have done is we have communicated with the National Media Commission, and the Executive Secretary has taken the documents, and then I'm sure very soon they will be taking action on it. So
well, we'll be keeping an eye on that development. Moving away from that, economist Kwame Pienim has described as unfortunate the appointment of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta as Senior Presidential Advisor and Special Envoy for International Trade by President Akufo-Addo. Mr. Ofori-Atta was relieved of his position as Finance Minister on Wednesday, February 14, and replaced with Mohammed Amin Adam. The Chief of Staff, Akosua Fremose Apari, in a statement dated February 15, announced the new role of the former finance minister. But speaking on the AM show, Mr. Pienim, who is a leading member of the NPP, slammed the appointment, insisting it had eroded the goodwill that came with a recent reshuffle of ministers.
I mean, Ken Ofori-Atta going is good for the optics. That the person who led us into the financial and economic crisis we are in, we haven't been here before. There's never been a time when Ghana has not been able to pay its bills. We are not paying our bills. The bills are there. We are not going to start paying them until about 2025, 2026. Right. It's the same guy who gets us kicked out of the Eurobond market. How can he be an envoy? I think Nane knows the international community are not that gullible, so we don't send him there. We don't have an economy now. What is he going to be advising more? You picked Amin Antap as Minister for Finance. Leave him to start doing the work.
Also, Mr. Pianim is unhappy with the change of Osechi Mensah-Bonsu from his role as majority leader in parliament.
Too many people are walking around the presidency. Let's remove them. Both governments.
Currently, it's over 1,000, and you feel all of that.
Both governments, when they come, they remove a minister, he becomes a special advisor in the presidency. We don't want that.
Osechi Mensah-Bonsu has resigned. Some say his arm was twisted, others say not. He's not going for another parliamentary term. But good or bad move?
Osechi Mensah-Bonsu is an icon in parliament. Okay? People sitting outside think that managing parliament is easy. It isn't easy. Right. He has to make sure that all the bills that cabinet ministers the president is sent are in line with the constitution. I'm saddened. I think he should have been left there he should have been left there to manage parliament, the little that is left there. And
well, the NDC's flag bearer, John Mahama, has proposed a 24-hour economy if voted into power in the December general election. But Mr. Pianim says the proposal lacks clarity.
People are talking about, 24-hour economy. I don't understand. What is it? We don't even have electricity for one shift. Where are we going to get electricity for 3 shifts? We started the idea of a 24.
Have excess power anymore. You started by talking about the independent power producers and all that. We are not maximizing the power.
We started a 24-hour economy. I was Minister of Finance. We told PWD, all the repairs, you do it in the night, okay? The traffic will move. When they started doing that, the managers were refusing to go and so on. Didn't have electricity to go around, don't have the security to go around, okay? So let's think through everything carefully and say, what can we do now?
Well, the NDC flag bearer, John Mahama, has hit at government for the slow pace of development in newly created regions and promises to change the order. Speaking at a meeting with traditional authorities at the Jakpa Palace, John Mahama made a solemn promise to the people of his willingness to ensure that development in the new region rages on. Nana Yaljima toured the Savannah region with him and filed this report.
The tour of the Savannah region made its first stop at the Jakpa Palace, where there was a meeting with the Yabonra and Savannah Regional House of Chiefs. Yabonra B. Kununta Jewu Sali I admonished the former president to prioritize issues of underdevelopment, poverty, and unemployment among the youth.
General poverty, countrywide poverty, followed by youth unemployment, and finally by underemployment, particularly in the public service. These 3 problems, I beg to state, should be given due attention when you come back to power.
The NDC flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, expressed disappointment over the failure of the NPP administration to develop the 6 new regions.
It is easy to create a region, but a region must have certain things to be called a region. The 6 regions that were created, they were created just in name. But the things that should go so that when you enter the region, you know this is a region, are still not there. And I can assure you that not only for Savannah region, but for all the 6 newly created regions, if NDC comes into power, the things that you need to be called regions, we will make sure that we provide them.
For Joy News, Nana Yaljima, Savannah region.
Well, moving on, Member of Parliament for North Tongue constituency Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa is accusing government of budgeting 600 million Ghana cedis for operational expenses for the All-African Games without parliamentary approval. Mr. Okudzeto-Ablakwa says this amount is entirely different from the 2.4 billion Ghana cedis spent on infrastructure for the Games. The North Tongue MP has accused government of being insensitive to the plight of Ghanaian and has vowed to hold the Youth and Sports Minister, Mustafa Yusuf, before Parliament for further questioning.
I am in utter shock that after requesting 100 million cedis, they have gone ahead to draw up a budget which has been approved by the President, which undermines the authority of Parliament. And that budget is 6 times what has been approved by Parliament. $48 million, which comes to some 602 million Ghana cedis at the prevailing exchange rate. This is unacceptable after we have spent a colossal $197 million on infrastructure. When we return to the House tomorrow, we shall be seeking the Speaker's blessings to summon the Youth and Sports Minister. That will be the first step. We will be demanding answers to this, blatant wastage, this flagrant, undermining of the authority of Parliament.
Samuel Okujeto Blackwa there. Well, there's some development there, and the sports team have been looking into it. Victor, what have you got?
Well, so you heard Honorable Okujeto Blackwa speaking
yes.
there. Now, that figure he mentions works out to about 200.6 million Ghana cedis a day.
Whoa.
Yes, for the entire tournament. Now, they're only getting this money from government, so they've held meetings. And when I say that, I mean the LOC chairs had meetings with Ghana Gas, EMI Energy, Magdan, Zoomlion, and other organizations, and they've had a bit of success over there. Recently, Boss paid them an amount of $500,000 as part of their sponsorship. You may be wondering where some of these monies will go. A document Joy Sports has cited, the Transport Management Handbook of the LOC, gives an idea as to where some of these monies would go. The LOC has said per that document that they intend to procure 332 vehicles for the 3-week tournament. Now, 55 buses are what they have penciled down. They will also buy 29 Land Cruisers, 106 saloon cars, 26 minibuses, 78 wagons, 30 Ayalolo new buses, 5 trucks, and 3 Toyota Prados.
Are these vehicles for the sports teams or for who?
For the games. That is what the Transport Management Handbook says. So for various purposes as far as transportation are concerned, not limited to Team Ghana alone, but for all other auxiliary service providers.
Thank you. Victor Achu Tamaklo is with our Sports Deck, and you're still listening to the Midday News. Gone by exclusive statements revealing closure of the 4 radio stations in Boko was due to a unanimous decision between the Upper East Regional Coordinating Council and the National Security. Also later, we'll be hearing the creative fraternity has been plunged into mourning following the demise of Peter Morgan, the lead singer for Grammy Award-winning reggae group Morgan Heritage.
GoTV is stepping up your entertainment from the 15th of January at no extra cost to you. If you are on GoTV Value, upgrade to GoTV Plus to watch GoTV Max. Already on GoTV Plus? Upgrade to GoTV Max to enjoy GoTV Super. And if you are on GoTV Max, upgrade to GoTV Super to enjoy the best of the best on GoTV Super Plus. Don't wait. Step up your entertainment today. It's on us. GoTV. Love it. T's and C's apply.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
Welcome back to the Midday News. Now, the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, is embarking on a revenue mobilization drive aimed at retrieving funds owed them by defaulters. The move, according to the company, is to enhance its financial standing and address outstanding payment issues. PRO Alassane Ababa says the exercise would be conducted in all its operational areas.
Every customer who is in arrears has, in one way or the other, been informed of his or her indebtedness. And they've made some attempts in the past to enter into some payment arrangement with us. We are only following on that arrangement to ensure that whatever is due us, we are taking. A little over 1 billion Ghana cedis.
Now let's do some fact checking. The University of Ghana says it has revised its plagiarism policy to include the use of artificial intelligence. According to a notice issued today and signed by the registrar Emilia Ej Mensah, the University Council and the Academic Board, this is part of a series of crucial updates with a primary focus on combating plagiarism and other forms of academic misconduct. Now joining me is head of our research desk, Raymond Aqua, via Zoom with more on this policy. Raymond, what does the notice say?
So it actually says Council has approved the revised policy on plagiarism and other misconduct, following recommendations by the Business Executive Committee. Indeed, it says also that the university is committed to ensuring that its faculty, staff, and students demonstrate independent thinking in their work and do not engage in behaviors that compromise the integrity of research and other academic work. It pushed further to say the purpose of the policy is to ensure that the university commits to the highest level of integrity and ethical standards in the academic work of its staff and students. The document defines what constitutes plagiarism and other acts of academic misconduct and outlines efforts at preventing and sanctioning these acts. Indeed, it talks about the change in the name, originally named the plagiarism policy. Now it's going to be called Policy on Plagiarism and Other Academic Misconduct.
Well, Raymond, specifically on the addition of the AI, what are the details?
Now, it also says a major addition in the revised policy is the use of artificial intelligence for academic work and research. The University of Ghana recognizes that AI and related software or programs are widely available to assist with academic projects, but notes that the spirit of the policy is to ensure originality in academic work. Therefore, any use of AI and related tools that violates this will be considered unacceptable.
Thank you very much, Raymond. Aqua is lead on our research desk. Now, born to a trader and a farmer in a small community near Akutia in the eastern region, 30-year-old Dr. Alice Amega has emerged as a global skills development specialist and advocate with a strong determination to give back to her community, country, and the world. Despite humble beginnings, she achieved a first-class degree from the University of Ghana and a scholarship to attend the prestigious Oxford University for her master's and obtained her doctorate from the University of Cambridge before the age of 30. Maxwell Agbagba has more.
A ceremony at the respected University of Cambridge as Dr. Alice Amega received her doctorate degree after her PhD studies.
Alice Amiga.
From humble beginnings to what many describe as the pinnacle of education.
I am Alice Amega, a proactive and determined young Ghanaian who believes in the power of education.
In this video, a young Alice Amega shares her passion for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, technical, vocational education training, STEM, TVET. Before age 30, she worked on youth career guidance, youth counseling, and skills development with national, regional, and international organizations such as the Commission for TVET, the World Bank Group, UNESCO, and more. In this interview, she talked about her humble beginnings and how education helped her to attain her dream.
Myself coming from a background that is largely from a rural context in Eastern region, a community called Boidua. In honor of my own journey as a young woman coming from being first generation university graduate, I decided to specialize in education.
It is 9:15 and 500 girls drawn from various senior high schools have gathered for the STEM TVET Awareness Day organized by Dr. Alice Amega's NGO Education and Inspirations Hub. As the event unfolds, various speakers take the stage to emphasize the importance of STEM TVET for girls.
Maxwell Agbagba with that report. Well, sad times in the entertainment industry. Reggae lovers across the world and the Grammy Award-winning band Morgan Heritage are mourning the sudden demise of a lead singer of the group, Peter Anthony Morgan. According to a family statement, Peter passed away on February 25 at age 46. My colleagues Jacqueline Ansmoyabwa and Maxwell Agbagba have details of that. M&J, what's happening? Maxwell, welcome back.
Thank you. Jackie
Well, yeah, I must have been missed though.
Yeah, I've missed you too.
but you come at a time when it's so sad. What's happening?
So Peter Morgan, lead singer of the Heritage, Morgan Heritage, he passed away yesterday. So people on social media have been sharing their heartfelt messages, condolences to the family. So this is from the Jamaican Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, and he says that his heart is heavy, and he called Morgan's death a colossal loss for Jamaica and reggae music.
Yeah, that's sad.
I'm sure, Mami, you've seen that popular video, that viral video from Burna Boy. You go there, explain tire. No evidence. No evidence. You go there, explain. Yeah. Burna Boy was the one who popularized, that term.
Yeah.
And yes, he is actually showing evidence. He had 2 shows in Canada, 21,000 sitting capacity, sold out back to back, just like that, showing evidence. Yeah, and he's trending on social media. This one here says, "But for real, is there any artist in Africa richer than Burna Boy? Because I can't find any in Nigeria. Man has been selling arena and stadium for way too long now. Just seeing this back to back sold out show leaves one surprised." This one also here says, "Burna Boy sold out 2 nights in a 21,000 capacity in Toronto." And should I say Toronto? Should I say Toronto?
We're almost there,
All right, thank you, MNJ, for that exciting episode. And that's it for the Midday News. Was live on Joy 99.7 FM, on Love 99.5 in Kumasi, and affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. Also brought to you by Petrosol, Joy Plus Ghana Limited, and Water Tank. Pastor Mesa Otebel is up next. There's more news on my joyonline.com.
Joy 99.7 FM, radio for the discerning listener.
Joy 99.7 FM,